On the shores of the Red Sea, a new and dangerous game has begun. A quiet alliance is forming. Russia, war-torn Sudan, and secretive Eritrea, reshaping one of the world's most vital maritime corridors. This isn't a formal treaty, but a partnership born from desperation and ambition, challenging decades of Western and Gulf dominance. The Red Sea, a crucial artery for global trade, is now a battleground for influence. Russia is exploiting Sudan's civil war, with Eritrea's strategic position enabling a new axis that confronts the interests of the US, Gulf states, and regional powers like Egypt and Ethiopia. Sudan is collapsing under conflict. Ethiopia is desperate for sea access, and Somalia remains fragile. Into this chaos, Russia steps in, not as a peacemaker, but as a power broker, trading weapons for a foothold. The result? A region teetering on the edge of wider conflict, with great power competition and state failure converging. The Russia-Sudan-Eritrea triangle is a partnership of convenience. Russia gets a naval base, Sudan's military gets a lifeline, and Eritrea gains leverage without sacrificing sovereignty. Together, they form a bloc that could change the future of Africa and the world. Russia's new naval base in Port Sudan is a direct result of Sudan's brutal civil war. Since April 2023, Sudan has been torn apart, creating one of the world's worst humanitarian disasters. Isolated and desperate, Sudan's government turned to Moscow for weapons and protection. The price? A 25-year lease for a Russian naval facility on the Red Sea, finalized in late 2025. Russia can now station warships and personnel at one of the planet's most strategic chokepoints. In exchange, Sudan's military receives arms and diplomatic cover at the UN. This deal is a game-changer, directly challenging the U.S. military presence in Djibouti and giving Russia leverage over global trade routes. For Moscow, it's a strategic victory, projecting power into the Indo-Pacific and undermining Western influence. While the West called for peace, Russia seized the opportunity, prioritizing its interests over Sudan's suffering. The base is more than docks. It's a symbol of a new transactional world order. Ethiopia's quest for sea access is the region's most explosive issue. Landlocked and dependent on Djibouti, Ethiopia's leaders call port access a matter of national survival. In 2024, Ethiopia struck a deal with Somaliland for a port lease, angering Somalia and sparking a regional crisis. With that deal stalled, Ethiopia now eyes Eritrea's port of Assab, raising tensions and fears of war. Eritrea has moved troops to the border, and the specter of conflict looms. Meanwhile, instability in Somalia and Sudan threatens to spill across borders, while Djibouti hosts rival foreign bases. Ethiopia's aggressive posture adds volatility to an already fragile region. Eritrea stands apart, fiercely guarding its sovereignty under President Isaias Afwerki. Refusing foreign bases, Eritrea has become a crucial swing state, courted by all, controlled by none. As Sudan collapses, its military has turned to Eritrea for security cooperation and strategic depth. Sudanese military assets now sit in Eritrea, giving both countries a buffer against chaos. This partnership also benefits Russia, granting it indirect access to Eritrea's coastline without violating Eritrea's no-bases policy. Russian ships in Port Sudan now have a friendly neighbor, and Russian influence can move through Eritrean territory. Eritrea's clever diplomacy has transformed it from a pariah to a key regional actor. It balances ties with Russia, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, increasing its leverage. Eritrea gains security and influence while maintaining its independence. In the Horn of Africa's dangerous chess match, Eritrea is proving to be a masterful player. The Russia-Sudan-Eritrea partnership is an axis of convenience, not ideology. Each member gives and gets something vital, making the bloc stronger together. Russia supplies weapons and diplomatic cover to Sudan, securing its naval base at Port Sudan. This base lets Russia project power into the Red Sea, challenging U.S. dominance and securing its interests. Sudan, desperate and weakened, trades territory for survival and gains a deterrent against foreign intervention. Sudan's cooperation with Eritrea extends the alliance's reach along the Red Sea. Eritrea, the linchpin, offers strategic depth and a secure corridor, giving Russia indirect access to its coastline. Eritrea preserves its sovereignty while gaining leverage and security against threats, especially from Ethiopia. This arrangement elevates Eritrea's status, making it indispensable to both Russia and Sudan. The triangle's transactional nature makes it unpredictable and dangerous for the region. It challenges the old order and complicates the ambitions of every power with interests in the Horn of Africa. The synergy of this bloc is reshaping the balance of power in the Red Sea. The Russia-Sudan-Eritrea triangle has alarmed global powers. The U.S., long the Red Sea's security guarantor, now faces a direct Russian challenge near its Djibouti base. Russian warships can monitor and potentially disrupt critical shipping lanes, undermining U.S. influence. Gulf states are uneasy. The UAE's investments and ambitions are threatened, while Saudi Arabia is wary of Russian proximity. The new axis complicates their proxy rivalries and regional strategies. China, with its own base in Djibouti, is cautious. Its investments and Belt and Road projects depend on stability. Instability from the Russian-backed bloc could threaten China's interests, even as it shares Moscow's goal of reducing U.S. influence. Egypt fears state collapse in Sudan and is wary of Russian power on its border. Ethiopia sees the triangle as a direct obstacle to its port ambitions, increasing its desperation. The new bloc has boxed Ethiopia in, raising the risk of reckless moves. The region is now a chessboard for global and regional powers, each watching for the next move. The Horn of Africa is now a single, interconnected system on the brink. Sudan's war, Ethiopia's quest for a port, and Russian military power have created extreme fragility. A single miscalculation, a border clash, naval incident, or assassination could ignite a regional war. Any conflict would quickly spread, drawing in neighbors and global powers. The most immediate danger, a new Ethiopia-Eritrea war, or Sudan's conflict spilling over. The Red Sea's crowded waters raise the risk of accidental confrontation between Russian, U.S., and Chinese forces. The world has been slow to recognize the scale of this danger, treating each crisis in isolation. Without urgent diplomacy, the Horn of Africa could become the epicenter of the next global crisis.